My name is Alan Michelle, and I have 7 years of experience doing automation. And I wanted to start a series where I just go through some of the stuff that I'm working on, and maybe if you guys want to replicate some of the stuff to learn. I have a client who hired me to set up an automation that is between Excel and email. So he has an Excel spreadsheet that he wants that once a day that it goes through, an automation goes through, and a day before the appointment for it to send a message to the email to the patient. So the way we're going to achieve that for him is we're going to set up an automation that uses Power Automate and connects through the Excel, and then it sends an email out using Outlook. So right here I have this spreadsheet is just dummy data. So I set it up just using the data points that I need. On his end, he has his own Excel that he's gonna be using. So these are the key data points that would be needed in Excel spreadsheet. So what I did is I created a new Power Automate, set it up as a recurrence. So when you add that as the trigger, it's gonna just out the box is gonna ask you to populate some of these things. So for example, the interval, like I said, he wants it to run once a day. So 1, and then frequency is day. I put the time zone and the at these hours, which I wanted to do at 7 because that's 7 a.m. in military time. So it's gonna run every day at 7, which is what we want. All right, so what we're gonna do next is we're gonna add an action, right? The action that we're gonna add is gonna be to connect to Excel. So we're gonna add the Excel connector. So if you just type in Excel, and it's right there, list a row, present, and a table, right? So this spreadsheet, I have it created in my OneDrive. So OneDrive for Business, then OneDrive, and then the file, I just put it directly in my OneDrive. I just named it book. So, and then you select the table as table 1. So here's a quick tip. So I could just leave it like this and the flow would work. So what's gonna end up happening is if I was to leave it like this, it would pull every single record. That means if I have 1,000,000 records, it's gonna pull 1,000,000 records before. So what I like to do is I like to optimize it. I don't want it to waste the research trying to pull every single record. I only want it to pull the record that it needs to look at. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up a filter. So we're only gonna pull the ones that is sent. So the status is not equals to sent. So that way, if he has, let's say he has 1,000 rows and only 5 has no status, it's only gonna pull the 5. It's not gonna pull the whole 1,000, which this is what it is doing right now. So when you click here in advanced parameters, what you're gonna do is you're gonna click filter query, right? And then you're gonna type in the column name. So if you look in this spreadsheet, the column name is called status. So you're gonna type in status not equal, which is NE, and then single quotes, and then we're gonna put sent. So if it's not equals to sent, it's gonna return those records. So in this one, I should only be returning, I should, if I run this test, I should only get 3 records instead of getting 4. I run it, okay. Let's see, outputs show raw data. All right, you see 1, ID 2, 3. So you see that ID 1 is missing, which is ID 1, which is because it's set to sent. Perfect. So right there you learned how you can optimize your flows and your actions to make them quicker. So what we're gonna do now is, since we have the flow, we have the get row, so I'm getting the rows. Now we're gonna want to compare, right? Remember when I said that he wants it to run the day before, right? He wants it to send out the ones send out a message a day before. So that means if today is the 6th, it's gonna run today, and it's only supposed to send for this one, which is the 7th. So in order to do that, we need to have on the comparison on the left side, we need to have where is today's date formatted, right? And on the right side, we need to do a calculation of what is that appointment date for the row minus 1. So that means it's gonna be the left side is gonna should equal 5/6/2025, and the right side should equals 5/6/2025, because that's the date that it ran. And then because of that, it's gonna move on to the next step. So we're gonna do that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a control, right? And then you click condition, right? This is the true or false. So one thing to note is when you're pulling data from Excel, the way that Excel saves the date columns, it saves it as a number format. So when you're pulling it, it's gonna return a string of like 45,000 something something. So we're gonna need to do something to format it to be the correct format. So let me give you an example, like this one we just ran, right? So if you look at the appointment date, it's these numbers, 45,000, 45,000, 45,000. So the way that Excel is storing it as the number of days from December 30th, 1899. We're gonna need to set up a formula that's gonna add the number of days, that shows up in appointment date to the December 30th, 1899, which is gonna give you what that date is actually when you look at it from Excel Online. So to do that, what I like to do first, I like to show, I use compose, I use it as a log so I can see what is actually displaying. Because if I was to run this, like you see how if I was to run this in the condition, it would not show me what it's calculating and how it's determining if it's true or false. It's just gonna say true or false. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna do format Excel date equals, then we're gonna do left side equal, then right side equal. All right, so this one, so the format Excel date, right? So like I said, we're gonna need to add the date of the appointment date to December 30th, 1899. So we're gonna use something called a function. It's an expression. So we're gonna put it right here. So we're gonna do add days, right? And the date is 1899, 12/30, right? And we're gonna make sure that it's an integer, because this might return, it's gonna most likely return it as a string. So we're gonna put int, and then so we can get the number. So we're gonna do dynamic content, remember, appointment date. And then we're gonna format it because we want that data to be returned in a very specific way. So we're gonna do month, day, and then for the year. Boom. So the left side, what we want for the left side is we want to get what date is it right now. And to do that, we're gonna use a function called format date. If you notice, like as I'm putting these functions, it tells you what you need to put. So for example, boom, I type it in, and then right now it says I need to put the timestamp. So the timestamp is I need to get what time it is now. So what I do is type in UTC now. So I put comma, and then you see how it moved to the next one. It's telling me I need a format. And then for the format, I want month, day, year. All right. So for the right side, which is gonna be remember the condition. So I have left side and right side. Remember, I put everything in the compose because I want to see logging wise what is it really calculating without it just giving me just like a very vague true or false. So all right, so on the right side, what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna need to add the formatted dates. We're gonna need to get the format Excel date, right? And then we're gonna need to subtract one from it. That way, for example, that means the 5.7 is the one that it's gonna send to. Because 5.7 minus 1 equals 5.6, which is today, which is 5.6 is the day that it's running. What we're going to need to do is we're going to add a compose so we can see what the logs. I like to do this so I can see what the logs is showing. Okay, so we're gonna have format. Okay, so one thing I'll say is, okay, so when it comes to Excel, Excel doesn't store the data. Okay, so when it comes to Excel, Excel doesn't store the data how you see it. It stores it into a number format. So for example, you see how this stores it at 45,000. 45,000. What it's saying is how many days from December 30th, 1899. So in order to get this to display like this, when we're doing our comparison, because it has to equal the same, we're gonna need to add that to the date of December 30th, 1899. Okay, so we're gonna, for me, I wanna see that actually what's happening. So I'm gonna do format date equals, or we're gonna put Excel format date equals, we're gonna do the left side because we're gonna add something called the condition, and then for the right side, we're gonna need to compare that. So boom. Also at the beginning, I wanna see what the ID of the row that I'm comparing to. So click on the dynamics, the lightning bulb, then you click see more here, then ID. So you see how I created this into a for each? That means for each row, it's gonna do this, which is what we want. So for each row in this Excel result that it returned, it's gonna display the logs of everything, and it's gonna check the condition, the left side versus the right side. If it's true, it's gonna run these actions. So Excel format. So what we're gonna need to do here is we're gonna add days. You see how it gives you a help here. So it tells you I need to give a timestamp in a format of strings. So I'm gonna give single quotes. Remember 1899, so December 30th. All right. So the next thing it says I need to give a days an integer. So I put int. To get the integer, if I click dynamic content, it's gonna give me the list of rows present in the table, right? For the for each, so it's gonna give me the appointment date. Boom. Then I move outside of that to one right. Then I do, I gotta format it. I'm in the format section now. So month, day, and then 4 Ys for year. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. See, I made a mistake. I forgot to put the single quotes right here. Single quote, add. All right, to the left side. So for the left side, what we're gonna need to do, we need to get what's the current date. So we're gonna click the FX. We're gonna get what the current date is. The current date is first I gotta format it. I want a specific format. Then I do, it says timestamp. So it's something called UTC now, which is what time it is right now. If I do a comma, then I'm gonna put the format. So the format is I want, just previously month, day, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So the right side. So the right side is pretty much what it's saying is on the left side, what is today's date? So today's date that it runs is 5/6. So 5/6. That's good. So on the right side, it wants to know what is the appointment date minus 1, right? Because we want to send it 1 day before. So if it runs right now, the left side is going to be 5/6. The right side is going to do a calculation. It's 5/7 minus 1 equals 5/6. 5/6 equals 5/6. It's true, which is what we want. It's going to go to the next thing. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Since we already had the formula up here, we're going to click on it, copy, then FX. We're going to do add days, because even though I'm subtracting, you still got to use the function add days. I want to show you. So I open parentheses, right? Move on to the next one, which is days, how many days I'm adding. So instead of just 1, I put -1, which was going to equal, let's change it to subtraction. All right, let's go ahead and save. Boom, perfect. So now I'm going to set up the condition. This is where we're going to actually do the true comparison. So to recap, what I did in the top here is I did the logs. I like to show the logs because if I was to just run this, it's just gonna say true or false. It's not gonna say nothing. So I put the logs up here. So I'm gonna need to get what's on the left side. So I click over here, the functions of it, left side, copy. Then I click FX, paste it. And for that, I need to go get the right side. Click on condition, FX, paste. All right, so now in here, I'm also gonna add, on the true side, I'm gonna add a compose. I just wanna see that the ID, right? Dynamic, at the top, the lightning bolt. I want the ID. See more, remember at see more at the top. Match, found. All right, go ahead and save this thing. Oh, okay, so it named the same thing. So log true. Boom, go ahead and save it. All right, so now when I run this thing, they should only return 1 true result, and that should be for the one with the ID of 4, because it's 5/7. Because, let's see. All right, let's see what happens. All right, for the first one, it's false. Because, remember when I clicked on the log, so ID for the second one, it formatted it for 5/10/2025. Okay, see, we did a mistake. We forgot to format this. See, it's returning it in this. I need to put a format. So this is just, this is something for you to see. Okay. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add another format. Same thing. Add days, 9 integers, items for each item, month, date, year, -1. All right, I forgot to put the single quotes. Update. All right, so now we're gonna just need to take this and go back and update it on the right side here. Boom. All right, see, this is why I put the logs so I could see what is happening. Because if it was just in the going based off the condition, all it's gonna show me is true or false. I wouldn't have saw that I made a mistake so early. You see, boom, you see how now it says Excel format is this, the left side 506 equals right side, which is not. Left side doesn't equal right side, so it's false. Same thing for this one, for ID 3, left side is not equals right side, false. So now I get to this one, I get the left side equals the right side, which is true. So boom. So successfully what we did here is we went ahead and we set up the Excel, reading from the Excel, right? We compared it because we only want to send out the email if the appointment date is 1 day before. So since we have this, all we're going to need to do now, right, is go ahead is, let's say we're going to add the email. So we're going to do Outlook, right? Because he wanted to send an email. So we're going to do Outlook, and we're going to do see more, and then send an email. And then from the two, what you do is you guys switch to advanced mode. And then for the two, you press the lightning, which is going to give you dynamic, which you could dynamically pass. So I have the email here. So the subject, he wasn't specific on what he wants for the subject, so we could do test subject. This is your test email for 1 day before your appointment. So like, for example, we could pass dynamic fields here. For example, I'm pretty sure he's gonna say like hi, and then the name. So hi, dynamic, and then a patient name, and then whatever message he wants to put underneath it. All right, so boom, what it's gonna do is it's gonna send out that email to the test email. Go ahead and save. Well, and then the last final step, he wanted to, when it's done, to update the Excel. If I type in update, then it's the update a row. So remember the same thing, location that we selected for the same file. So we're gonna go ahead and put OneDrive for Business, document library, the file location, remember it was called book. All right. And then for the table, we're gonna do table 1. The ID is the key column because you need a unique identifier, right? And the unique identifier is ID, because whenever you add a record, it's gonna keep on numbering, it's gonna keep on going down. It's gonna add one, it's gonna be unique. So the value is what is the ID. So I'm returning what the current ID is. So when it does this, does everything, sends out the email, it's gonna go back to that exact row and it's gonna update it. So if I do if I click on this, advanced parameters, then I'm gonna be able to go to status, because what we want after we send it, we need to update the status equals sent, right? Remember? So like, for example, now when I press this again, what's gonna happen is this is gonna update to sent. So let's go ahead and save. All right, so all of these is false for ID, first 2 rows. Okay, boom. Then it's gonna send my email. I got the email. Then it's gonna go back and update. So if I go back to this book, guess what? Sent. You can see how easy it is to set up an automation for a specific task. Because if he didn't, before having this, or the reason why he asked for this is because he used to go in, they have a spreadsheet, they would copy the patient's, first they would filter out the spreadsheet, right? for the appointments the day before, and then they would go ahead and copy the email, open up Outlook, create an email, customize whatever they need to swap out, the name, whatever, and then they would send the email. So doing this and having a system where every single day it does it by itself, it's gonna allow his team to have more time to do other things. I introduced you guys to a couple things. Remember how Excel stores the data, especially for dates, is different. You might have to massage or format it. You guys saw how to properly set up logs. It makes debugging easier. And then you saw how when I had forgot to format the date at one point on the right side where it wasn't returning the right results. And because I had the logs, I was able to easily see what my mistake was, and I was able to fix it. So thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for being part of Alan's automation, and then we'll see you next episode.